Everybody wants to have a wrestler physique. I mean, look at them. They just have these types of physiques that we screenshot and use as motivational pictures. But do you actually know how they built these physiques? Because if you know it, you can just replicate it and be the next guy that people use as motivational pictures. And to be honest, I want to be that guy. So I started a 10-hour-long research project and found out what their routine looked like and what specific exercises they do, and most importantly, what their diet looked like. To make things clear, I will not be going over their wrestling session. This is irrelevant, and if you're not a wrestler, it's also going to be boring. Instead, I'll focus on things everyone can replicate. To make it as simple as possible, I split their training into 3 simple categories, because mixing these things up just makes it too complicated, and I really want you to achieve your dream physique. So, there are 3 categories: core lifts, pull-based upper body work, and Olympic lifts with power training. Now, the first category, the core lifts, is built around 4 movements: squats, deadlifts, bench press, and power cleans. Obviously, I know you already knew about these, nothing exciting, until you understand why these core lifts are important for a physique like this. Like, a deadlift is not just picking heavy things up. Rawr. That one movement is training your grip, glutes, hamstrings, core, and your entire back all at once, with only one exercise. Squats do the same kind of thing. They build your quads, core, your stability, pretty much the foundation of your whole body. And yeah, the part everybody cares about most, the chest, shoulders. Those get built hard through movements like power cleans and bench press. Now this creates a question, because probably most of you are doing some of these exercises but don't see results like wrestlers do. There is one little thing that wrestlers or even pro bodybuilders do differently than you. See, wrestlers mostly train for fights. They want to win. On the other hand, bodybuilders train to go on the stage, to win as well. But you and I are training because we want to look good or stay healthy, so the focus is completely different. Of course, the wrestlers are putting way more focus into their exercises than we do because we have nothing to lose. So one simple thing I always do while training is focusing on the exercises I do. And I do this by simply thinking of my muscles.
My muscles are getting bigger.
For example, if I train my biceps, I try to think about how my biceps grow, how it will look when it grows, and putting my whole focus onto this muscle. I saw a study some years ago that confirms if you think of your muscle while training it, it will grow faster. So the key point here is to focus on these exercises. I wouldn't say it's a waste of time if you don't do it, but you will get better results faster if you do. However, you do not need to train exactly like a wrestler to build that kind of powerful physique. Here's what you can do. Add these 4 lifts into your training and hit them just twice a week. Start with weights you can actually control. And look, I'm not saying you'll wake up in 3 months looking like you escaped a wrestling camp. It takes time. Now, the pull-focused upper body category. They do rope climbs, pull-ups, basically pull work in general, because wrestling is a pulling sport. You're pulling your opponent's head down, driving into double legs, snapping people into the mat. All of that comes from your lats, traps, rhomboids, and biceps. And that's exactly why elite wrestlers have backs that look like someone carved them out of a mountain. And that V-shaped torso wrestlers have? Yeah, a huge part of that comes from years of pull-ups and rope climbs. But again, you are not a wrestler. You probably don't have time to climb ropes for 3 hours while a coach screams in the background. So here's the practical version. Add weighted pull-ups to every upper body session. If you need a band for assistance, use it. Nobody cares. Just start. If you can do rope climbs, add them in. If not, dumbbell rows are a great backup. And honestly, the rule is simple. Pull at least as much as you push. If possible, pull even more. Now that the easiest phases are done, we'll get to the Olympic lifts. Hang cleans, power snatches, the stuff that makes you feel athletic and exhausted at the same time. And let me be clear on one thing. These are not bodybuilding exercises. They train your body to produce force fast, which is completely different from just being strong. Think of it like a car. Strength is having a powerful engine. Power is having that same engine with ridiculous acceleration. Wrestlers need both, and you do too if you want to move fast and be athletic with an aesthetic body. Honestly, that's why their physiques look so different from bodybuilders. It's not just muscles sitting there looking impressive under gym lighting. Their bodies are built to move violently and explosively. Now, most of you probably already know what a hang clean is, right? Because if you've never done one before, the idea is actually pretty simple. You pull the bar from hip height, explode upward, then catch it on your shoulders. Do me a favor and start light. Learn the movement first, then slowly add weight over time. And here's what you could do with it. Add hang cleans at the start of your strength sessions. 3 sets of 5 reps before your heavier workout. But here's the thing. These exercises are not some secret hidden in a cave. Everybody knows them. Everybody can do them. So why don't we all end up looking like wrestlers, or even bodybuilders? Because most of us eat like shit. But the wrestler diet is pretty simple when you break it down. A wrestler that is on a loading phase is obviously in a calorie surplus. To build huge muscles, his body needs more calories than usual. But that doesn't mean you just start eating everything your grandma cooks for you or loading up on snacks at the convenience store. Just around 5 to 10% above maintenance. So if your body maintains weight at 2,500 calories, you eat around 2,600 to 2,750. Protein usually stays around 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day, but carbs are huge here. They fuel the training, help recovery, and honestly, without them, your workouts feel off. And fats matter too, around 15 to 20% of your intake, especially omega-3 sources like salmon, tuna, walnuts, and flax seeds because they help reduce inflammation and support recovery directly. To get this in a better perspective, here's what Jordan Burroughs actually ate during a full training day. After his morning workout, veggie omelet and mixed berries. After evening practice, salmon, sweet potato, sautéed spinach, and mushrooms. So yeah, the man is definitely not leaving the table hungry, but he's also not destroying a family-sized bag of chips at 1 a.m. while watching motivational edits. And honestly, that's the point. Cut back on the fried food, candy, and pastries, not because they're illegal.
Wait, that's illegal.
But because they replace actual nutrition and give almost nothing useful back. So this is what I, Baron, would personally recommend. For breakfast, 4 whole eggs with veggies, oats with banana and peanut butter, plus some mixed berries. For lunch, grilled chicken breast, rice, or sweet potato. I love sweet potato, by the way. Spinach or mixed vegetables, and some avocado on the side. And for dinner, a tuna wrap with vegetables, yogurt or cottage cheese, and a handful of walnuts or flax seeds. Now obviously, this is just what I like doing. You can swap foods around however you want. The goal is the structure, not becoming emotionally attached to sweet potatoes. However, the most important part is the recovery, because you can only build this type of physique in the recovery. Because after all this training, wrestlers still had to recover properly, and honestly, you need to do the same. You must sleep for 7 to 9 hours. Alexander Karelin treated sleep like part of the training itself, and that system helped build one of the most dominant physiques and careers wrestling has ever seen. And also, the cold water immersion after hard sessions can help reduce inflammation. Foam rolling and mobility work between sessions help reduce tension and keep the body moving well. And please, stay hydrated. Research shows wrestlers who go through extreme dehydration before competition end up with higher rates of muscle damage compared to those who don't. Water is not optional. Your body literally depends on it structurally, especially if you take creatine, then you will need even more water intake daily. Train hard, recover properly, and stay consistent long enough. And maybe one day your back will also look like it can carry tree logs for fun. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.